friends, Michelle here with a fun spring project. I've got this hoop wreath that I've had in my stash forever. I've got a brand new spring transfer, Hello Spring patterns, and then this wonderful new chalk paste. This is one of the en vogue colors called Taffy, and it is just, oh, look at that. I love it so much. So springy and fun. So I'm just going to use some of that chalk paste to paint right on my wood surface right here. I didn't bother to water it down because it's, brand new paste. It just didn't really need it, but you could certainly add a little bit of water to your chalk paste if you needed to thin it out when you're painting. But I'm just going to paint that bottom one, and then the center section I am going to take some of my let's see, this is Gel Stain Tobacco Road, and I just want it a little bit darker because I'm gonna chalk paste white on this section and I want it to kind of pop, and so I want my that wood surface to be just a little bit darker, and this just adds a little bit more color to it. So I'm just going to kind of spread it on with, I've got one of those foam brushes, and then I will use a paper towel to kind of wipe off the excess. And then I'm going to dry both of those very well before I add any chalk paste. So I've decided that 2026 is going to be the year that I use up a lot of my stash. I've got a lot of surfaces and transfers like this hoop wreath that I've had in my stash forever. And, you get busy and you collect things and you don't use it all. And I really want to get all of these done. So that is what I really would love to do this year. So that's why I'm starting with this hoop wreath. I don't think this hoop wreath is available anymore, but you could certainly do this same concept with a round surface and just section off, the different sections with tape, and then paint one section and stain another. And I will probably do another project doing that as well, because Chalk Couture still does have the wood rounds on their site. But so once my surface is dry, I'm going to give it a real light sanding on the layer that I used chalk paste on, and then I'm going to grab my surface wax and just give it a light waxing. So the waxing just basically protects your transfer, and it also helps keep the paint from pulling up when you're chalking on a surface that's been painted. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the wax, I'm going to rub it on, and then I'm going to grab a clean rag and just kind of buff it off. And it should feel really smooth once you have put the wax on and buffed it off. So then once I do that, I can go ahead and chalk my surface. So like I said, this is a brand new transfer. This one's called Hello Spring Patterns. It is a C-size transfer, meaning that it is 12 by 18, and it's got all of these different sections. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to cut it apart, but I'm not cutting the backer paper, because on the bigger transfers like this, I like to keep them all on the sheet. Just personal preference. You could certainly cut the entire thing up if you wanted to. So on the bottom part of this, where I had chalked the Taffy chalk paste, I'm going to add that adorable polka dot. I love it so much. You'll see there I kind of I fuzzed my transfer just a little bit first, which just means that it takes away just a little bit of the stickiness on the transfer. And then I'm just using bright white chalk paste. I am going to reuse this transfer multiple times. I was moving fairly quickly, so I wasn't really worried about it drying in the transfer. And then I'm just trying to dry that just a little bit so that I don't smudge when I'm putting on, the next section, which I have a tendency to do. I will accidentally bump a spot. So I just kind of dried it, not fully, but just enough so that, if I bumped it, it wouldn't mess it up. So then I'm just going to apply that one more time, just kind of trying to line it up as best I can, not going to be perfect. And I love these polka dots. As soon as I saw this transfer, I knew I had to have those chunky polka dots. They're just so adorable. And there you go. Look how cute. So I'm going to let that dry. And then the middle section, I'm going to add the Hello Spring. Now I knew that hello was not going to fit on there. So I went through my stash and found another transfer from several years ago that had the word hello on it. So I measured it to make sure it was going to fit above the spring, which it will. And I'm going to end up using that. So just a tip, if you're not finding what you need, or, the transfer that you're using isn't quite working, be sure to look through your stash and see if there's something else that you could, kind of add to get the look that you're going for. So I'm going to dry that again, just so that I don't smudge it. And I had a little bit of goof up right there, so I just used a wet wipe to fix that. But I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to add my backer paper to the back of that, just so it doesn't stick to where I've just chalked. And then I'm going to chalk that little hello, so I have a Hello Spring. And that transfer is actually a fall transfer, but you know what? Hello can be all year long, and then it fits perfectly. So then I'm just going to work on creating a bow for my wreath. And funny enough, I almost forgot how to make a bow. It's been several months. I haven't made any bows since December. I almost forgot how to make a bow. So I'm just going to grab some ribbon. I'm going to make a bow, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it gets you inspired to make some spring crafts. And be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.